All right, I've only got a few minutes, so I just want to hit a couple points. Why do soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, and Coast Guard do what they do? Why? Why would you do that? And so what I thought I'd do is I'd start at the beginning. 25 years ago, on September 26th, I raised my right hand and said I would do the following. I, Thomas William Muhleisen, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me, according to regulations and a uniform code of military justice, so help me God. But did you catch what I swore the oath to? I would support and defend a piece of land? Nope. Some other dudes? No. The Constitution, an idea. I mean, how weird are we as a country? We're supporting and defending this idea. Wouldn't it be a lot easier if we just had walls and stuff and we just walked around and said, hey, don't mess with the stuff inside? But it's kind of bigger than that, isn't it? Just a little bigger than that. So that's why I stayed in. Because after 3 years in the 2nd Ranger Battalion, I got out. I thought I was done. Honestly thought I was done. And then I saw a movie, and in that movie I saw examples of really poor leadership. Doesn't matter what the movie. It happened to be Platoon, if you guys ever watched that. And I realized that I had something left to give. And further, that I wanted to give it. And so I re-enlisted. And that was a very good decision. All right, so I'm going to talk really quickly before I leave here about some values. What's interesting about this, the Army recently, quite recently, instituted a value system. That sounds kind of strange, but what they're trying to do is codify and share the values that we really already had, and then put it in such a form that a dumb grunt like me that can remember it. All right? So the ones they went through are loyalty, duty, respect, service, honor, integrity, and courage. And I can rattle them off because that happens to spell leadership. The one I really key on the most when I'm in uniform and when I'm out of uniform is respect. For the kids that were in the play last year, we had some discussions, about respect. For the folks that were in the communication class I gave last year, I talked about respect. It's huge. It's huge in communication, and it's what this day is about. Respect your veterans who are like you. They could be doing other things, and they've chosen to set aside a piece of their life, and sometimes their entire life, to protect an idea. So as you're out and about today and tomorrow, and you see some folks who happen to know they're veterans, just thank them. Don't make a big deal out of it. They're not going to make a big deal out of it. Just walk up and say, hey, thank you. Thank you for your service. All right. And my last story, to kind of bring it home, is going to end up in Iraq. I'm going to start out here. Earlier this month, we as a country did an amazing thing. We unseated the single most powerful person on the planet and replaced him with someone else. If you watch the news, that's usually accompanied with a lot of bloodshed. You go to another country, and people get unseated all the time. But here, we voted on it. We picked it, just like you picked your ASB president. That was an amazing thing. And we had some record turnout, and that made me really proud as an American, that people were this passionate about their candidate that they got out the vote. So let me tell you a story about passion to vote and see if that brings it home, since you guys are, some of you will vote in the next presidential election. All right. In 2005, January 2005, in Mosul, Iraq, you guys are probably a little too young to remember this, but it was a big deal. That was our entire effort for the main units that were in Iraq at the time, because the insurgency had gotten so bad that many of the people actually moved out of the city. And the entire area and all the units kind of surged that direction, if you will, along with this growing Iraqi army. And they put out the word, they got out to vote. They got in. I had a friend who was actually one of the speaker teams that was explaining, hey, you should go vote, it's your civic duty, except they were not saying in English. And over. And we were really nervous about whether the Iraqis would respond, because people were threatening to kill them if they voted. I'm not kidding. Threatening to kill them. Going to their houses and threatening to kill them. Scary stuff. And my friend saw this thing happen that was pretty amazing. An Iraqi man had been shot by someone trying to intimidate people away from the polls. Lines. Big lines to get to the polls. And he refused to be evacuated before he could vote and dip his finger in that purple ink and show, I have voted. So remember back to what I said. Support and defend the Constitution, this idea. What a powerful thing. Thank you very much.